All right. So one of the great things about Tzu Chi is that we try to, within our organizations, create this sense of family. And at the heart of that, I think, is that each and every single volunteer of our organization strives to really show their love, show their care, show their compassion to each other. And I think that very much starts with loving speech, and it starts with showing that in our speech and our actions. Next, we have a special guest. We all have Sister Penny introduce our keynote speaker for the day. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hola. Aloha. 你好吗? Okay, that's all the language I know. My name is Penny, and I'm here today to introduce our keynote speaker. And we are Dr. Han Huan. Dr. Huan has been our CEO of Tzu Chi USA since 2012. He has led our volunteers all across the United States to establish Tzu Chi missions and also participating in many disaster relief programs all across Americas. And we are very happy and honored to have him here today to speak to us. During his talk, if you have any questions pop into your head, please write them down on the index card on your table. Toward the end of his talk, our curriculum team members will go around the room to collect them. So without further ado, please give a warm welcome to Dr. Huang.
Okay, dear funder and all the volunteers, good morning. How are you doing? All right. What does Superman do when he goes out for a mission? Yeah, changing. So let me do the same thing. Do you have any idea what this is? I guess Emily knows. Because, sorry? All right. Now they feel better. Let's go back to the old days when I was still in science career. This is the t-shirt that I did when I left Salk Institute, which means when I left my academic career, about 2003, 2004. And the picture you see here is a cell cycle. For whoever studies cell biology, you should know. And this is actually the work that I published in, I cannot even remember which journal. And this was the conference at Salk Institute. So they took my picture and put on the t-shirt without my consent. And in the conference, I saw this t-shirt, I feel, wow, it looks so familiar. Yeah, so I bought one of these, which turned out to be this one here. And this is the first time, actually, I wear this t-shirt here because I left science already, yeah. All right, so let's go to the PowerPoint. Can we have the first slide? On the other side. Good. This picture was taken 1992 or 1993. Did you see me in there? You're probably gonna guess. You have to remember, try to think about back to long time ago when I still have hair. And maybe 20 pounds lighter. You see that? The one in the middle. Something changed, but something still didn't change. All right. Let's go to the next one. That was when I was in Indiana University. with my advisor and the whole lab. It's a small lab, but very warm lab. Oh, doesn't move. All right. Okay. This is when I feel frustrated, and I feel maybe I have to find a second job. What if I cannot finish PhD? Just have fun, do some juggling. All right, next one. Yeah, I think doesn't, oh, yeah. Okay, this is the one 1998, February, when I finish the PhD defense. It's a February 13th, Friday. I remember that. It's a Friday the 13th. And people say, are you crazy? Are you sure you want to defend your PhD thesis on that day? I say, sure. That's the only day I got. I have to move on. Luckily, successfully, so you can see the champagne over there. And obviously, I haven't joined Tzu Chi at that time. Just like normal people, right? All right, next slide, please. Finally, got my PhD degree. Just like anyone else, we rent this, the gown, and then take a picture, and then return it. And then I go to the Salk Institute in San Diego. Whoever in San Diego here should know. Yeah. It's a very, very famous, well-known, prestigious biological study institute. At that time, we have about 70 faculty members. 10% of them were Nobel Prize laureate. Pretty tough, huh? Yeah. So the one in the middle, in the pool, with a big beard, with a cap, that's Tony Hunter, Dr. Tony Hunter. That's my advisor back to the time. He is actually in the committee of Nobel Prize award. So he has to go to Europe to vote who should get Nobel Prize pretty much every year. It's fun to be in his lab because we have a good collection. We have a good variety of postdoctoral research. Some of them from Asian, some of them from European countries, some of them from American, local. It's a good combination, so get to enjoy. Yeah, but now question becomes, why am I doing here? Why shouldn't I continue? Move on to my academic career. I did try, and I did have the opportunity, but something happened, so I decided to change my career. So next slide. Yeah. If you remember 2003, October, I think Mark would know that very well, right? The Cedar Fire happened in San Diego. And that was the first time in my life. It's very interesting. San Diego is not a big branch office. We did not have a lot of volunteers back to that time. When the wildfire happened, and the director actually went to El Salvador for the earthquake relief. But yet, wildfire happened. So we'll get together in the office and say, shouldn't we do something? Right? Yes, we should do something. But the director is not here. Well, then who should go and coordinate? Then people started pointing the finger to me, say, hey, you should. I say, I'm very busy in the lab. They say, oh, come on, just take 2 weeks off. Let's do it. I say, okay, well, let's give it a try. I never done that before in my whole life. But somehow they want me to do it. And I say, okay, let's give it a try. So that's the first time I actually did the disaster relief. The first time I have to interact with a lot of people, Red Cross, so on and so forth, many, many people. And then, next slide, please. This is pretty much what I see at that time. Well, not this one, yeah, this one. So what did you see here? Pretty much nothing left, right? That's what I saw at that time. It's pretty shocking to me. And somehow I still thinking about, wow, that's the real life. When disaster happen, when something happen, that's the real life. And I remember at that time when I was in the shelter, Red Cross shelter, we are trying to do the distribution. Back to that time, it's not like right now. People know us. Back to that time, most people didn't know Tzu Chi. They didn't even know us at all. So we really have to work very hard and spend a lot of time to convince people that we are doing the right thing. We're doing exactly what people needed. And I remember that there's a couple, when we give the relief check to them, back to the old days, there's no debit card. Still check, we have to cut the check right there and give it to the family. I remember it's a $500 because their house was lost, completely lost already. And then the gentleman said something to me that I will not forget for my whole life. So what did he say? He said, even though my house was lost, but my home is always here. How do you think? Are you touched by that? You have to think about the gentleman just lost everything, completely down to the ground, but he and his wife still very strong. That's something that really touched me. I will never forget that. So that's why I feel like, wow, doing the disaster relief and doing all this other work feel more rewarding. You actually learn a lot more. So when Austin, the CEO back to that time, asked me, do you want to work for the foundation? I don't know where he came up with the idea. It's a big change. But he approached me and asked me anyway. I stopped for a couple of seconds. I say, well, let me think about it. Because the disaster, this is one of the biggest things that plays a very important role to change my career. All right, next slide. So by 2004, 2003, 2004, I left science. I left academic career. 2004, June 1st, I reported to Tzu Chi Foundation headquarters in Los Angeles, becomes a full-time staff. The first thing I did is this. You know what this is, right? Sign language, yeah, Mark and Lori. Yeah, just like you did here. It was a fundraising event back to 2004, 2005. Yeah, that's the first thing I did. I feel good. Started enjoying it a lot. You can work with, interact more with people. You can learn from the real people. Feel good. Yeah, exactly. But years later, next slide, please. After 3 years later, around 2007, I feel like, wow, I may have made the wrong decision. Do you have those kind of experience that you have been with the foundation for volunteers or becomes a commissioner? At the very beginning, you are so happy that you got a blessing from Master, give you the ID card. It becomes a new commissioner. And then 2-3 years later, you feel like, oh no, I'm so tired. I don't want to do this anymore. Do you have that experience? Yes? Yeah, don't be shy. If you say no, then I don't believe you. You got to have that experience because it's part of the path that we have to train ourselves to move on more and more. And the reason for that is very simple. Really, very straightforward. Is each one of us, including myself, we all have a very clear, bright Buddha nature. But unfortunately, we all have bad habits as well that come with us. And that's something that we have to, sort of cultivate ourselves, purify ourselves to become better and better. But before we reach the goal, sometimes we just cannot control ourselves. So we may hurt other people, we may say something stupid, or we may say something, not good, not nice to other people. And that actually hurts other volunteers' feeling, or hurts other people's feeling, discourages them to leave the foundation or to leave the Tzu Chi family. Just like that. It's very natural to do that. But it's understandable, but it's not good to do that. So that's why we're here today doing all those trainings, try to minimize those negative things. And let's try to bring in more positive things, right? Okay. So after 3-4 years, I do accumulate a lot of negative things in my mind. It's true. And I feel like, maybe I should go back. Maybe I should, think about it. But something happened. Again, 2007, almost the same time, right? It's another fire happened in San Diego. I think Peggy will know from San Diego, if you remember. So Dr. K, the CEO at the time, say, hey, Han, you have to go down there again. I say, why? We got so many volunteers. Dr. K say, well, you should go down there because you're from there. You know the neighborhood, the community there very well, so you should go down to coordinate there. I say, okay, sure, I would do that. And then actually, when I say yes, I would do that, I feel like, good. This is my last mission in Tzu Chi. I come here because of disaster relief. And once again, I finish this relief, then that's about it. Time to move on. That's what in my mind to think about that at that time. This picture was actually taken in 2007, the wildfire, yeah. But I'm still here. I'm still here. I didn't leave. Why? What happened? Something must have happened during the fire. They again changed my mind, right? So what happened? 2 things happened. Number 1, when I go back to San Diego, when I see that fire again, all those completely burned down, the debris, when I see that again, suddenly came to my mind is 2003, the image, the feeling, the reason that I made the decision years ago, that suddenly came back to my mind, number 1. Number 2, even more important, is when I saw there are so many volunteers. Some of the volunteers are actually, I don't like them at that time because I feel like these are not easy people to deal with. Those people are actually giving the trouble, put it this way. But believe it or not, when I see these volunteers, they actually kneel down like this. Seriously, they kneel down like this to comfort whoever lost their houses with their tears in their faces. And then I realized one thing. We all have a Buddha nature, don't we? That's true. It's just the environment, it's just the timing. Whether we have the timing and opportunity to see it or not, we should trust everybody. And that's what Master has been taught us, right? But we tend to forget it. Just like that. Very simple. So that I feel like, wow, it's good that Dr. K put me here again. Finally, I realized, that's right. We all have the clear Buddha nature. The question is, how do we enhance the nature to the utmost position? That's the most important thing. So after that, disaster relief again. I didn't tell Dr. K that I'm leaving. That's why I'm still here. That's one thing. Second thing is this picture, 2007, the gentleman from Red Cross, he is the person actually suggests to me saying that Mr. Huang, since your foundation has been working with Red Cross so often, why don't your foundation think about have a MOU or some kind of collaboration agreement with Red Cross? Let's make it official. That's the gentleman suggests me. So I bring up in the meeting in Taiwan, and then eventually 2008, we have the agreement signed. So this picture actually has two memories for me. All right, next. So what did I do most of the time? Tzu Chi, right? But some of the things that, to me, the most unforgettable things are the time with the founder, master. Okay, so yeah, this is one of them. This is 2005 board meeting. See, I still have some hair in the very back. All right, next one. This one is more recent. Next one. This is the one that I went back with the Northern California volunteers. Okay, next one. All right. Let me ask you a question here. If you had the opportunity to meet with Master personally and in a very short distance like this, if you had that experience, could you please raise your hand? Not many. I guess maybe what, 20% less? Okay. How do you feel? How do you feel when you get like this close to the master? Feel very good, huh? Did you want to cry? All right, yeah, I feel that too. Anything else? Did you feel some kind of positive energy? Did you feel you are being charged? No? Okay. Now, I want to spend some time to share about some of the story. Some stories that I actually interact with our founder. The first time I actually saw Master in person, that's back to year 2000, when I was still in San Diego. I think we had about 14 volunteers as a group. They all go back to San Diego to do the volunteer in the hospital, and then report it to Master. And I remember very clear. Please have a seat. I remember very clear that when we were reporting to the Master, I think she is sitting like here, and the director is sitting here. I'm sitting right here, like James, you sit here. It's very close to Master. And I listened to whatever, the founder, our director, he prepared a lot of information, showed a lot of pictures to Master. So Master kind of listened to whatever, he said. And then it's around 10:30 in the morning. Do you know what time is it? It's like a snack time. You gotta take a break. So, the other Dharma masters in the Jingsi abode, they bring out some of the noodle soup. Smells very good. Really, smells very good. And then nobody dare to touch it because we feel like we should follow the rules, And then the founders saw us so nervous. And then she said, "Oh, let's take a break. Let's take a break and stop the reporting." And then she kind of just took the bowl of noodle soup, started to eat it. And then everybody pick up his or her bowl, started to eat it. And then suddenly I realized that I was actually looking to Master how she eat. Remember that? Remember that? We eat with manners, right? We hold this chopsticks and bowl like this, remember? I never understand why we have to do that. Until I actually saw her eating that noodle soup, I never see people can, you can eat with many, many things, but it's just so hard for me to believe that not just she enjoyed that noodle soup, but the way she eat it is so graceful. I don't know what's the better word to describe this. I just feel like, wow. And I keep looking at it, forgot to eat my noodle soup. And it was so hot, I sweat a lot at that time. And then she finished her noodle soup, put it down. Look at me. See me sweating so much. And then she asked, "Are you all right?" I said, "Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just so hot in Taiwan here." And the reason I want to bring this up to you is it's not just the words, right? Master has said a lot of words in her teachings, but sometimes an action could be, I don't know, 10 times more than a single word, like the way she eats the noodle soup. Maybe you won't feel that, but you really have to see it, then you will know what I mean. It was just amazing to me. And I remember that day when we about to leave the Jingsi abode, about those 14 volunteers. So the director and us, about total 14 volunteers, we sort of all kneel down to Master, saying that, we're leaving the Jingsi abode now. And then the director said, "Wow, 10 of the 14 volunteers, hasn't been a disciple with the Master. So we have to 皈依上人. We haven't been the official disciple. We haven't filled out the application, so on and so forth." And then, Master say something. She said, this is what she said. I will never forget. She said, to do the application is only a formality. When you wear the uniform, you are my followers. You are my disciples already. Once again, are you touched by that? Yeah, I'm completely melt at that time. Why? Because it's just so hard for me to believe that, she is what, about this tall? Really, not that tall. But she has a great, great kind heart to embrace the whole universe. It's just so hard to see people like that. So wonderful. So I still remember that. Yeah, that's one of the things I remember. Second things I want to say is, keywords. Okay. 2008, when I went back to Jingsi abode again, I cannot remember what did I report it to, some projects. And after that, again, we all kneel down to Master and, about time to leave the Jingsi abode again. This time, Master didn't just let us go. And she said, "Oh, we still got some time. Why don't you all sit down?" She wanted to talk to us more. I feel nervous for some reason. Believe it or not, I have been doing the presentation in front of Nobel Prize laureate. I don't feel too much. But presenting something in front of our founder, I feel very nervous. for some reason, because her wisdom is amazing. She can always pick up something, some questions that you would never think about. Anyway, back to the story. And so now she wants us to sit down, talk to us more. So again, I sit in the first position, chair here. And then she said, ask me who you are, where you come from, ask my family, do you have kids? I say, no, I don't have any kids. Are you married? Yes, I'm married. And then suddenly she looked at me, very nice way, say, that's interesting. Why don't you want to have kids? Is that your choice or if you want to share with me? I say, oh yeah, of course. That's my choice because I feel like there are too many kids in the whole world already. There are way too many. We don't really have my own biological children anymore. And then she said, oh yeah, that I totally agree with you. I feel that way too. Okay. I want to bring this up because I want to address this issue here. When she want to ask me something a little bit personal, right? She really said it in a nice way. You know, when she taught us about gratitude, respect, and love, right? Respect. That's how she showed the respect. Now, she is our master, but when she asks us something, she's still very nice, very gentle. If you want to tell me, you can tell me. Share with me. Very nice way. So I'm just using all these as examples to address how, what the masters, what she did, and why she has so many people want to follow her. Okay. All right. How much time do I still have? I kind of get lost here. Until 11:45, right? But we still have, I will leave something for the question here. Okay. All right. The last story I want to say is this. Years ago, I went back to Jingshi boat again. And it was about Chinese New Year. So many Tzu Chi member, which means our, we have some Tzu Chi member here as well. Our college student volunteers, they all went back to see Master. But they bring their whole family. They bring their kids to see Master. You know, the first thing when you see Master is you pay respect to Master, right? But when those little kids, like 3, 4 years old, when they see the Master, they kind of just stand there doing nothing. And their parents, the Tzu Chi, say, hey, you got to pay respect to Master. And the kids say, mm-mm. You know, it's kind of awkward situation there. And their parents say, how come? I told you at home, you have to pay respect, blah, blah, blah. And then the kids still say, It's so funny. And then, you know what Master did? She took a little envelope. We all have the red envelope, right? We all get that every year. She has a little ones for the kids like those. Very small, tiny, and cute. Very shining, bright, red color. So she took one of those and going like this in front of the kids a couple of times to get the kids' attention. And then say, it's beautiful, right? Yeah. Do you like it? Yes, I want it. Then, what did you say to me? Then kids will start to, pay respect to the Master, say thank you. And everything done. Okay. I bring this up, I just want to share with you. That's why I said she has her wisdom to deal with little things or big issues like this. When parents totally lost their patience and they don't know what to do. But our founder, she has a way to deal with it. Okay, that's something really got my attention too. I say, wow, that's so nice. See, that's why we all have to learn. We have to learn a lot from her. Seriously, she has a lot of wisdom. Okay, let's go on next. All right, all right. Let me tell you one more story, and then let's move on. 2010, I was lucky. Had the opportunity to follow the master for about 2 weeks. Go to the central Taiwan. I used to be, the story I told you before were just when I was in the Jingsi boat in Hualien. But this is not. This is when I actually follow her to go out to the central Taiwan for about 2 weeks to a lot of recycling stations and things like that. Before she went back to Hualien, she actually visited another Dharma master. You probably don't know who this person is. This is Dharma Master Xiu Dao. If you remember, before our founder, 50 plus years ago, when she feel that she has to shoulder, becomes for all the peoples, right? So she actually left her home. Remember? She kind of escaped, run away from her home. And the other side, on the right-hand side, Dharma Master Xiu Dao Fa Si, is the one that actually accompanied her to different locations. So they are very good friends. And she lived in central Taiwan. So before Master went back to Hualien, she went to see Xiu Dao Fa Si, pay her a visit. She went to see Dharma Master Xiu Dao. And they had a very interesting conversation that I kind of cannot forget again. So Dharma Master Xiu Dao tell our founder, saying, how are you? Fine. How are you? Good. And then Master Xiu Dao said, I just came back from Korea. I had a very nice trip there. They have very beautiful, nice flowers. And then started showing the pictures to our founder. Our founder looked at that and say, wow, that was so nice. Look at me. I'm completely tied up. I don't even have time. I don't have freedom. Even when I talk to you right now, there are cameras facing at us, recording everything. I don't have freedom at all. And then Master Xiu Dao said, no, you are the person that is truly free. You are the person that is truly brave. Do you know? And you are the person that truly had time. Do you know why? Okay. Think about this. What does free mean? Think about the founder. Is there anything or anyone that she is afraid of? Doesn't matter how difficult the mission, how challenging it is. As long as it's right, she will go for it. That's free then. That's free. Okay? Time. Did you know how our founder used her time? She would look at all the memorandums and listen to volunteers sharing, and then give feedback, and then participate online meeting with international disaster relief. She can do 5 or 6 things at one time. Did she have a lot of time? She did. That's the way that she used the time. It's really amazing, huh? All right, okay, let's move on quickly. Next slide, please. Yeah, that's another picture. All right, keep going. Okay, now, just give me 1 more minute. I want to finish this. My goal as CEO, I want to sort of build the infrastructure for the foundation here. And I want to increase the diversity for our volunteers. And I wanted to be Tzu Chi being more recognized by more communities, more organizations. That's pretty much the goal here. And I won't be able to finish all this. I need every one of you. Next slide, please. However, there are challenges. You know, Tzu Chi is a very grassroots foundation. They're all volunteer-driven. And we have a lot of language barriers here. So I'm glad that, you know, today we are all here. I believe that we can overcome all these culture or languages barriers. It's very important though, okay? All right, next slide, please. Yeah, this is why in Dickinson, if you remember the picture. All right, next one. Okay, now to end this, I just want to say a funny story to you. I heard about this story a few days ago. Now I want to share with you quickly. So there's a gentleman walk into a pet shop, and he saw 3 identical parrots. However, all the pricing are different. The first one, $500. Second one, $1,000. The third one, $5,000. So he asked the owner, wow, why are these so expensive? What's so special about them? The owner said, well, the first parrot can use all the smartphones, iPhones or Androids. So he worth $500. Really? Okay, how about the second one? The second one could use the laptop. Wow, okay. What about the third one? The owner said, I don't know. The third one, you know, just stand there doing nothing. But the first and second one call him boss. All right. The take-home lesson is, I want to ask you this. If you have the choice, which parrot do you want to be? If you want to be the first parrot, raise your hand. 1. Only 1. 2. All right. 3. If you want to be the second parrot, $1,000, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, not many. You want to be the third parrot, raise your hand. Still not many. Now, what happened to the people that didn't raise your hand? You don't want to be a parrot, huh? Okay. The take-home lesson here is, remember what I said? We are all equal. We all had the same Buddha nature, don't we? It doesn't matter you are the second one or the first one or the third one. It's a team. It's a team up. Then we can finish a lot of tasks. We can finish a lot of missions. So, with all that said, all right, this is can I have the last slide, please? Oh, yeah. This is what happened when Master went out. So many people want to listen to her, you know, just like me. So, with all that said, I just want to thank you for being here with the foundation, and thank you for being here for this training, and thank you so much for listening to my stories. I hope they will give you a little bit warm feeling and know more about Master. More importantly, if you had the opportunity to go back to Taiwan, remember to go to Hualien to visit her, pay her a visit, and I believe that you are going to enjoy the time that you are with her. So, thank you so much, and I'll see you sometimes in the future, either in the disaster relief or in Los Angeles or in New York. I don't know where, but remember, in this big family, we are all together. We are all equal. Let's team up, and we can overcome a lot of missions. Thank you so much, then. Thank you.
Thank you so much for Dr. Han Huan. We are very happy to have him here today. And I'm afraid that we only have 1 minute left in the class.
All right.
So maybe just one question. Okay. How do you balance your role of CEO running the organization versus volunteer in the organization?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. Can you show that picture? That's exactly what I want to tell you. Okay. Being a CEO doesn't mean that you have to follow me or follow what I said exactly. That's not in my mind. My mindset is not like that. Even the founder herself, she would listen to everybody, to all the volunteers' comments, opinions. And after that, she would decide to make a decision based on most people's consensus. So it doesn't work that way, okay? That's how I balance between a role of CEO and the volunteers. I listen. But there's one thing very important. The principle and the direction has to be right. Okay, that's my part that I have to insist. Other than that, I will listen to most volunteers. I hope that answered the question, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, I know some people have written down questions for Brother Juan. If you will write down your table numbers, I will ask Dr. Juan to personally write your answer. So please write down your table numbers on your index card if you have a question, and we'll collect them afterwards, okay? So now we'll go back to our MC.
Thank you very much, Sister Penny. So Dr. Huang mentioned a lot about mindfulness, and that's something that we can learn to practice. If he was not mindful during his interactions with Master Cheng Yen, then I don't think he would have learned, about all the different ways that Master Cheng Yen interacts with and inspires all the people who come to meet her. He had very detailed description of those moments, and they really do leave an impression on us. And so our next couple of classes that we'll be following are ways that you could practice mindfulness as some easy methods where you can start doing that. Even now, as you're sitting in your chairs, how you sit, not only, it's a practice of discipline for yourself, but also showing respect to our speakers. So up next, Sister Diana will tell us a little bit about how we can practice mindfulness through eating.
Okay, thank you, Sister Emily. Okay, so our class here is called Mindful Eating. As you all know, I'm Diana, and I took on this class because I enjoy eating a lot. And for me, eating brings a lot of emotions and memories, most of them positive. And so today we're doing a little activity. I have volunteers that will come and start putting our little treat on the table. But before we begin, actually, I wanted to ask everyone, what do they think of when we say mindful eating? Any volunteers to share their thoughts on what they think mindful eating means? Thank you, Sister Martina.
One thing is being thankful for where the food came from.
Yes. Anything else? Thank you.
Enjoying the food fully as it is.
Yes, definitely. Brother James?
How precious the food is because of what it took to even make it to the plate.
Exactly. So today's experience is that, that connection with the food that we have, to appreciate it and enjoy it fully. A practice of mindfulness is just to calm ourselves down and be focused at one thing at one time. And it happens today to be a piece of chocolate that we're going to experience. A little bit of technical thing is anybody not okay with chocolate? We do have backup, healthier, organic version of raisins. Any volunteers for the raisin trial? Yes? Okay. Can we get, Brother Yan, can we get 1 raisin for table, 2 raisins for table 9? Thank you. Team 9 is right here. Awesome. Okay, so I just want to explain the chocolate in the middle is vegan. There's no milk in it. It's just dark chocolate. And so dark chocolate is actually good for your heart. So I really enjoy eating dark chocolate. So I want to share my heart with you and have healthy heart in this experience. So can I have my slides up actually really quickly? No? Okay, it's okay. I don't really need the slides. We're just gonna start this experience. No, my PowerPoint slides. They just have me on the screen. Okay. So we're gonna begin this chocolate experience. But first, I want everyone to kind of put everything away and relax your bodies in your chairs. So you don't need to take notes. I just want you to fully experience, and for now, for the next 10, 15 minutes, just listen to my voice as we guide you through this chocolate experience. So if you can sit in the most comfortable position in the chair, put your feet on the floor, relax your shoulders. I want everyone to take a deep breath in and exhale. Take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, release all the tension in your necks, shoulder, body. Let it drift away and melt out of you. Rest your eyes gently. Take a deep breath in. Release. And as you're taking these breaths, I want you to notice each breath that you're taking in and each breath you're exhaling. So just keep breathing, resting your eyelids softly, clearing your mind. And when you open your eyes, I want you to transform yourself to the age of 3 or 4, like a child. And as you see the piece of chocolate on your table, everybody, you can open your eyes. And as you notice the chocolate on your table, I want you to pick one up. And like a child, this is the first time mommies and daddies are letting you have this solid sugar. Hold the chocolate in your hand and just look at it. You're gonna be tempted to eat it right away, but I just want you to look at it. Look at this piece of chocolate, the weight of it in your hands, the look, the bumps. Is it shiny? Someone once told me this piece of chocolate that you have in your hand, you're actually holding the world. Isn't it amazing that you have this chocolate and you're holding the world? What do I mean by that? How did the chocolate come to be? Starts out with the seed. As the seed is being kept warm by the earth, it slowly starts to grow. The rain comes down, refreshes it, and it slowly sprouts up. And it feels the sunlight wash over it. It becomes a tree. And then it gets harvested. And during each of these processes, different people have come in contact with this cocoa seed as it's being dried, as it's being roasted, as it's being processed, molded into the shape, wrapped, sent to the store, and then Sister Penny buys it and brings it here. Think of the places this piece of chocolate has traveled. Think of all the people that have had their part in creating this delicious treat that's now in your hands. I see a lot of you wanting to eat it and having that willpower to hold it back. That is a part of mindfulness. I want you to bring it up to your nose and smell it. Don't eat it. Just smell it by your nose. What do you smell? Close your eyes. What thoughts come back? What kind of wondering? Yes, deliciousness, happiness. You're going to be tempted to eat it. I want you to just to put it at the tip of your lips. Don't eat it. Taste it by your lips. It's sweet, right? Okay, I won't hold you back anymore. But you cannot just chew and swallow. The next part needs a lot of willpower. If you can gently put it in your mouth and let it sit there, okay? Just have that piece of chocolate in your mouth. Close your mouth. Let it rest on your tongue. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Let the chocolate start to melt on your tongue. How does it taste as it's melting and spreading across your tongue and as you swallow? Notice your body's reaction to it. Feel the heart. Feel your breath. Feel the taste. There's 300 different tastes in a piece of chocolate. How many are you tasting? Is it all sweet? How are you feeling as this chocolate is slowly melting and absorbing into your body? I want you to listen. If you're taking bites, listen to the sound that you're making as you're biting down on the chocolate, as you're chewing the chocolate, and as you're swallowing the chocolate. Feel the texture change in your mouth. Feel your body react to it. Remember to breathe. And just let the chocolate dissolve. And when that last bit is gone, go ahead and lick your lips. and try to get all that bit and pieces that you missed before. And then I invite you to close your eyes again and go back into that deep breathing. Breathing in through your nose. And exhaling out of your nose. Slowly enjoy that chocolate. And just be. Okay, you may open your eyes. I know that for me, sometimes I do a lot of multitasking and rushing through and trying to complete all these different tasks. And one of the tasks I tend to multitask is eating. So then sometimes I'll sit down and I'll finish a meal and not even realize that it's gone already. And other times I'll end up having another portion, or I rushed and I do something else. And so I realized that when I do have moments that I can stop and pause and really enjoy what I'm eating, a lot of my stress just starts to melt away. And my heart is filled with this different kind of feeling, a bubbly, energetic feeling that makes me view everything I see in a different lens perspective. So I hope you enjoy this experience with a piece of chocolate. I'm thankful that I get to share this sweetness with you. And I invite you throughout camp to look at food a little differently and see how you are connected with the food and how we're connected to Earth and how we're connected to each other through food. And that's it. So thank you. I think we run out of time.
Hi, good morning. I think the retreat, before I say anything, I want to practice a little bit loving speech. Instead of saying, oh, why don't you, come on, quickly, let's line up, let's go to the dining hall quickly. Otherwise, you won't have dinner today. You won't have dinner today, or your lunch will be delayed or something. Yeah, I should say, the whole retreat staffs, appreciate your participation. Yeah, actually, this is the most high spirit participation that we ever seen. So thank you for your cooperation. And the culinary team really acknowledge your effort. They have prepared delicious lunch to re-energize you. So please enjoy lunch and come back at 1:10. Thank you very much. Yeah, so let's stand up. And be ready to exit to the dining hall. And for the group leaders, please leave the question and the surveys on the table so we can collect them later on. So, thank you. Yeah, please have your bags with you. So is table 9 ready? table 11 is okay. Yeah, please proceed.